Dylan, you're a business owner, and you're in bars and clubs all the time, Todd, and like you could probably relate to this, but I'm 20 years in grocery business and gas stations and whatnot, and I've seen all kinds of like clogged toilets and plumbing and whatnot. When I was driving here to get to the Backline, there was a Roto-Rooter van just dipping and diving, trying to get wherever they go, and I'm like, I've probably seen some clogs that would require that.
That's an emergency, man.
I thought that would be interesting, yeah.
Welcome back. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O. Welcome to Season 3 of the Laugh With Me podcast. Holy cow. Welcome back, producer Johnny Palermo is here for another fun season. Just a little glimpse into what's to come this season. We're going to have more guests, more laughs, more video. Not a joke, Johnny. We're really going to have video content this time. I promise you, you're going to want to subscribe, follow, however they dictate what that's called on the YouTubes. You can find us by searching Laugh With Me Podcast. We've got all kinds of goods coming your way. And of course, you can also find a podcast every single week, sometimes multiples. Johnny has been working very hard to give you multiple new episodes every single week. And you can find those on Spotify. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, where we are one of your top 100 comedy podcasts in the iTunes charts. Some of the guests that you have to look forward to in season number 3, stand-up comedian Kent Maslowski. We've also got Lavetti Vegas coming your way. My fellas, you're finally going to get to chat with them. Andy Clausen, Jabron from the WTL podcast. Hey, hand up. This one's on me. I invited them onto the show for season 2. And then I, have 20 episodes in or so of season 2. I was like, you know what? It's time to step the game up. It's time for season 3. So I'm going to bring the fellas on, okay? We're going to talk ball. We're going to talk jokes. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have them on the show. We're also, this one, I couldn't be more excited to have this guest. I'm telling you, this one is literally 20 years in the making. This is going to be a lot of fun. Steve Wave, one of my favorite bands, Eighth Wave, from back in the day, okay? We're going to have him on the show. We're going to talk about Eighth Wave. We're going to talk about music. If you're like early 2000s, okay, early 2000s fan of like the local music scene in Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, you're going to want to listen to this one. It's coming very, very soon. I couldn't be more excited about that one. And he listens to the show. He listens to the pod. This is going to be great. So Steve Wave from Eighth Wave, we're going to talk about, we're going to get the breakdown on the band. I'm just telling you, I could not be more excited. It is going to be so much fun. Well, this is the first episode of season number 3, okay? And with that, you've got to bring something, special to the people. I mean, you can't just bring the same old, okay? You don't want me probably talking about the thong song every episode, right? I just would assume, Johnny, that the people don't want me talking about the thong song every week. Or do you? Because if you do, let me know, because I've got plenty to talk about in that regard. I'm assuming you don't. But for the first episode of season 3, you know what? Your boy had to go on location, okay? I spent a little bit of time in downtown Omaha at the Backline. Are you familiar with Backline? BacklineComedy.com is the website if you're not familiar with Backline, okay? Comedy, they have the stand-up comedy most nights. They've got improv shows. They've got classes, okay? You can learn how to be a comic. You can learn how to be an improviser and so much more. They're promoting a very specific show. They're doing actually a podcast tour throughout the month of December to promote their show on December 31st at the Backline. Are we calling it Backline Theater? I don't know. Johnny, really, my notes here from you are, they're not. You know what? We're going to start season 3 positive. Johnny, great job. I will take it from here with a little improvisation. 9:30 p.m. to midnight. It's going to be a hell of a show. It's the New Year Eve extravaganza. Okay, I added that. I'm improvising the extravaganza. So if you're actually looking for the show, it's the New Year Eve. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. wUw, and it's December 31st, 9:30 p.m. to midnight. For more information, to buy tickets at www.backlinecomedy.com. And actually, I don't think you even have to do the W anymore. I think you can just type it in. It would be backlinecomedy.com is kind of what I think. But the wUw, it stands for What You Want Show. Okay, Dylan, Oakes Rohde, and Toddilocks. They are the master of ceremonies and master improvisers. It's an incredible show that will keep you on your toes, and I promise you, it's not like anything that you have seen in Omaha or the surrounding areas. If you're planning on going, if you can't make it, I definitely would suggest that you check them out on YouTube, because you can check out the show experience on the YouTube. And I'm sure if you follow our socials, Laugh With Me podcast, we'll have some links out to kind of show you what some of this is. But some of it's they work through the month and they get some video segments together and give you some funny bits at the show. But then a lot of it is whatever you want to make it. And then, I sat down with them and we talked about just that. And honestly, a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things that's going on in the world of comedy and more. So from here, I'm going to give it to the fellas. It's Dylan, Oakes Rohde, and Toddilocks. It's the wUw show experience on Laugh With Me. I'm here with the What You Want show, guys. Or woo, yeah. And that's the appropriate way to say it, right? Like, woo, like Ric Flair kind of.
Yeah.
With Dylan and Toddilocks, and you guys have a big show coming on December 31st.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
This is a 3rd annual Woo Year's Eve.
Oh, 3rd annual.
Third annual,
shit.
yeah. It's a lot of fun, man. Somebody got married at the first one. I'm a ordained minister. Hit me up, I'll hit you up. That's my.
They got their own little dance and everything.
Yeah, man. We have live performers come out. We play games with the crowd. There's dance party. It's a great way to ring in the new year. You don't really always want to go to a comedy club because on New Year's, because you don't want to just sit there and wait for the countdown. But this is different than just watching a stand-up comic. You go on a set for 30 minutes or whatever. We're changing it. I always say, man, if you don't like what's going on in the Woo show, just give us another 4 minutes, because it's going to be something different.
Your show is literally like no other. It's not just anything you guys thought you would have for the show is what it is. I mean, it's changing in the moment, right? And the audience is involved.
We show up with like a very minimal outline of like, we have a video we're going to show, maybe 2. We are going to get a challenge. We have a couple of drinking games we're going to play, and maybe like some loose ideas of some things that we think are fun, and we might or might not use them. And then everything else is thought of in the spot, like while the show's going on. The show, we ask the audience, anyone who wants to shout out words, what do you want out of this show? And they'll usually shout like things that don't matter. Funny. We want to be comedy. Like, you should.
Let's take a nap. Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Give me a nap. Yeah. I'm tired.
But then they start to go really wild with it, and they're like, deceit. I want to see.
Last time we had some cult-like behavior.
Yeah.
So we wound up making a pentagram out of inflatable hobby horses for that.
Oh, nice. So the challenge, I mean, this is one of them, right? So you guys are on a podcast tour.
Yeah, that's our third podcast.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
We asked the audience, what do you want us to do? And one of the guys from Quick Draw, Addy, was like, do Quick Draw.
Yeah.
And then someone else, I think it was Sam, maybe was like, do a bunch of them.
And we were like, oh, this works out really well because we just got nominated for that OEAA. So we'll just go on places and maybe that'll help our chances of winning.
Yeah, Omaha Entertainment Arts Award for Best Comedy Ensemble.
Congratulations. Congratulations. It's awesome to get recognized, in any art that you do. And that's fantastic. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, that was a real sneaky way for Addy to book you.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
To challenge us.
I see what he's doing there. Yeah.
It was great because, like you said, Sam was there, and she has a podcast as well. Yeah. So how this got happened is there was two podcast bookers in the crowd.
Well, it's easy. Everyone has a podcast, myself included. Right?
Yeah.
So it's great. You can find a bunch of them. But thanks again for coming on the show. And just the more I learn about the show, I'm like, it's so many times I think when I think of Backline for myself, I think I'm going to a stand-up comedy show. Dylan, you're a improv master, would you say? I mean, that's your specialty, right? Yeah. I mean, you do stand-up, you're very good at it, but you're an improv guy, right? And I don't know if are you more improv or like stand-up, Todd?
I just hang out with Dylan a lot. Dylan's like, hey, I got a show. Do you want to be on it? And I'm like, yeah, man, I got nothing else to do. And then I show up and find out what it is.
Yeah.
I started with stand-up, and I'd never even heard of or done improv prior to that. And when I started doing stand-up around that time, I think it was Jack Comstock. He said, hey, there's a guy doing an improv class. And plenty of comics, they're like, oh, I'll go do improv. Sure. It'll help me with my crowd work. But for me, I was just like, oh, I want to hang out with these people instead of do stand-up. So I'd done stand-up for like 2 years probably, and then started doing a lot of improv. And then I just get in with the show, man.
Just enjoy it.
I'm just here to have, it's the best, man. Comedy, you're just hanging out with the people who want to have fun. So, and Dylan's, that's like his main point is he's always good at engineering fun. So I like to hang out with him.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide creating fun you have. So, no, the improv, that's the thing. If you're not familiar with the Backline, it's crazy because I'm sure a lot of folks, if you live in Omaha, have at least heard of the Backline. Come check it out because you not only have stand-up comedy, I know you've got all kinds of improv nights and improv shows, and this appears to be one of them. I mean, it's improv through and through.
Myself, Todd as well, but I'm a big hip hop fan, and so I'm really also trying right now to kind of get more hip hop into the scene. So we got I'm teaching my first freestyle rap class right now, and we're 2 weeks in. We got 1 week left, and we're going to do a performance out of that, and it's been fun to get more like freestyling on stage and stuff too.
Acapella, or you create a beat and then everybody kind of goes with it?
We just use some beats like the royalty free beats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And is that something that you have had a passion for a long time?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of rap since like at least high school, but I started doing karaoke probably like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, I think, and it really picked up from there. Doing rap karaoke, like competitions and stuff.
Oh, competition. Okay, I was gonna say as like. At a bar as like the host, like getting people going, or what?
No, just a way to get attention.
It's like I leave this stage to go on another stage.
That's awesome. So you're teaching the class. Are you looking to kind of parlay that into getting talent to create some of those types of shows then?
Yeah, we've had at this point at least 2, or maybe I think 3 people who've been on Wild 'N Out on our stage.
Wow.
Yeah, three people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do a show, a hip hop show called Getting Rowdy, which is Dylan has so many brain children running around this theater, but it's a hip hop comedy show, and it's really, really fun. And the people that he's teaching now, probably some of them are going to wind up being on the show. It's a lot of fun, especially out in Omaha. You don't get a lot of hip hop comedy shows.
So what's the general theme from person to person that is interested or in your class for this type of art? Is it a certain type of creative person? Are you seeing a lot of improv people that you're familiar with? Are you seeing some comics? Are you seeing people that are musically trained in other areas? What kind of people are you seeing?
Almost everyone who's signed up for this freestyle rap class has taken our musical improv classes as well. So they're more in the musical side. They don't really, most of them don't even listen to rap. Yeah, but they just wanted to push themselves.
And then you teach them how to rhyme.
Yeah, yeah. And we were already, last Monday, everyone was freestyling 4 bars at a time on beat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. There was one guy in one of the classes. He is a 65-year-old school principal, and by the end of it, he was spitting fire. Not a lot of fire, but he was spitting intermittent fire.
Is he? I could imagine him becoming one of those school either principals or teachers or whoever that are creating the schools out for snow or whatever.
Sure.
He's
rapping on the
rapping.
intercom and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Pete and Bass? Is it Bass?
Pete and Bass, yeah.
Pete, no, I'm
They're
not.
2 old British rappers.
Yeah, 2 old British rappers, but they spit so much fire, and they're so good at modern slang that it creates this very interesting contrast between some old men, and he's trying to think of a good lyric offhand.
Yeah, I don't remember any of their lyrics, but they just come in real hard.
Just coming in hard, yeah.
Oh,
and
it's
a lot of it's probably the physical performance of it, right?
Yeah.
To help sell what you're saying. How important is it to keep up on the trends or anything that's in pop culture right now in order to maybe deliver on some of those lines, or is that doesn't matter?
I think in general you got to be a little aware of where hip hop's always going.
Yeah.
So you don't just sound like you're from the '90s.
Right.
I don't think that you need to necessarily listen to everything that's out there, but have your own style and all that. But you should at least be aware of what most people are doing.
Yeah. So how often does this come up in the show, the What You Want show? The hip hop or just singing in general.
Our intro song is
the intro song's great. Yeah.
And then we have another song we made that we've performed, I think, at 2 shows. We don't do it at every one, but every once in a while we'll pull it out. That's our one song we've written together.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We don't always do a lot of rapping on the wUw show.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like
We do a rhyming game.
Yeah, we do a rhyming game. That's fun. It seems like we're just trying to reach further than the hip hop with that, just to see we're basically building a parachute on our way down. They've named off the things that they want to see, and I don't know. It's just doesn't often include rapping.
And it should be of note that the people that come to the show, and you should come to the show, the people who come to the show, you may be involved in the show.
Yeah.
Actually, you likely will be involved in the show, and not necessarily like you normally would at a stand-up show where the comic is going, "Oh, look what you're wearing." It's more of, you may have to talk.
Yeah, we might get you on stage. You might judge a dance contest.
Right.
You might be in a dance contest.
We've done what do we do? An all air show once where it was air guitar, air drums, air singing, and it was with no music or anything. So it was just people pretending to make a death metal song.
And it was really fun. Man, it's so incredible how I always say the show comes together as more than 2 + 2 = 4. Like, we go in with this idea,
Yep.
it's vague, and we're like, okay, we can make this happen. But as it happens, it always does more than you expect. Like, one time, I showed up and I had some baggy pants that I had taken some long balloons and put in, because I can do a couple of balloon animals, right? And we're just top of the show. I'll walk on stage. Nobody knows I have these balloons in my pants. We're taking the suggestions, and somebody says a puppy. Okay, I can do a puppy balloon. Then somebody says giraffe. That's the same balloon. It just has a long body instead of a long neck. So I'm like, oh, you want a puppy? Whip a balloon out and make a dog out
That's
of a
incredible.
balloon. Then on the other side, whip out another balloon, make a giraffe. No, there's no way I would have thought up the idea that somebody was going to suggest that, you know?
Completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected, but nailed it.
So how long has this show been going on?
It started like a couple weeks into the pandemic.
Okay.
We were trying our best. I was trying my best to like find any sort of content to keep people doing something, and for people to be able to watch something new and not just Netflix. And like, there wasn't a whole lot of people who wanted to do online stuff either. It was rough, you know?
Yeah.
And so we went on. I had a couple of show ideas, and they were kind of tough to execute and to keep things going. And then we had one night where I just didn't have anything planned. And I was like, all right, well, this show's going to be whatever you want it to be. Tell me what you want out of this show, and I'm going to try to give it to you. And it was just me sitting in my living room. And so Todd was on, and like maybe 2-3 other people.
Alex
And-
Portillo was there.
Yeah. And you just stayed through that whole show. So then I was like, that was kind of fun. Let's try it again. And so then the two of us ran that show together, I believe, the second time. And then by like the third or fourth, it might have been 4 or 5 by the time we were doing it in person. But we had to do it like online.
Because it was early pandemic, man.
Right.
It was 3-4 weeks into the pandemic.
So
Everything
probably
was
like
still
March,
shut
April
down.
2020 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When we did
Okay.
our first intro video, we were still so scared of the pandemic that to go do it together. We had the car windows rolled down, masked on, in the
Like
car,
our head out.
heads leaned out the window. Because you remember that initial
Oh, yeah.
panic. We didn't want to be within 6 feet of each other, but we had to, even if you watch the video, we're like apart from each other as we're rapping.
It's funny because during that time, I'm running a grocery store.
Right.
I literally had to act kind of like life still existed. Like you guys
Oh,
were saying,
yeah.
like you were, had to stay to 6 feet. I had to be the opposite. I had to be in the mix. I had to put, the mask and the glove, everything. But I had to be in the mix and act like everything was just fine.
Yeah.
It was an
a
odd time.
Wild time.
So yeah, speaking of Netflix and pandemic and everything, I was just watching Tiger King last night actually to help me
nice.
fall asleep. Yeah, it was
Man,
it was
that's-
very soothing to watch it.
That Tiger King was a wild ass story.
It was, but you can only watch it so many times,
Right.
So then, yeah, you got to find something to do. So, how long have you guys been like friends and working together?
Probably met around 2013 or 12 or something like that.
Old theater.
Yeah, the old
Like
space.
two months before we came to the new theater. 2 or 6.
Yeah.
So this was in a different. Backline was in a different building then.
Yeah, we were in the basement of a place called Studio Gallery,
Across from the old.
the old Dundee Bar and Grill, and the Dundee Theater
Okay.
before it was the film streams.
Yeah.
There's also like the vacuum shop that most people see in Caterpillar Vapes now.
Yep.
So we were underneath there in that basement, and it was a cool place, but it was not like a legit venue. There was one toilet.
Or up to fire code.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun place though.
So
Yeah.
what was this building then, or what was this kind of unit before then, before you were in here?
So the current place we have for Backline was it's been a lot of things. The place
Okay.
right before us never opened. It was like a boutique that never opened.
Okay.
Before that is a place called Polyester, which was like an art gallery that would show like independent movies and stuff. And then there was a hip hop recording studio at one point. That's when someone got murdered right up front.
Oh no, shit.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Back in
then-
the East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah. And then it was like
You did not do hip hop improv then, right? Like that just wasn't safe.
Yeah. The world wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
It was the Omaha Reader at one point, though. That's one of the most famous things it was.
Okay.
Omaha Reader. Gwen Stefani and 311 did a concert in the basement here.
Wow, there's some history here.
There is, yeah.
The Reader, I mean, it was probably 2001, 2002, 2003 when I was in college. It was like
Everything.
yeah, it was everything. I mean, you had to have it. That Slam Omaha, like I was on the message. Do you remember that the website, with the message board
I
and
might not
whatever?
have been here.
Okay,
I didn't get here till
Probably-
2011.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like 2004, 2006, back in the MySpace days.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, the manager at Homer's, he was like Mark. He was
yeah.
constantly on the thing. I was following him for local music stuff, just constantly following for that. But
Yeah.
man, between that and the Reader, that was
Yeah,
how I lived
that's
my
how
life.
that's how you knew everything that was going on.
Yeah,
in Omaha.
100%.
And then Omaha Nightlife. You remember
Yep,
Omaha
the line
Nightlife?
with the
That was-
pictures. Oh yeah,
They would just go out and take pictures of people at the club, and it was very exciting because
Yeah.
you could go get your picture at the club, and then you put it on your MySpace. Everybody's like, "Oh, we're partying!"
Yeah, you must be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
they never took a picture of the redhead guy with the acne. So unfortunately, I
They're
wasn't
like,
able to
we
share.
got it.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to share.
There was something that when I started here that was really cool, and I'm kind of blanking on it now. It was something Omaha hype. Omaha hype.
Omaha
Remember
Hype, yeah.
Hype.
It was kind of a cool. It was like an online magazine sort of thing. Like it was like the Reader, but just online. They mentioned like music and comedy and all sorts of entertainment, basically.
They would do reviews of comedy shows,
Yeah.
which we don't have anybody that does that anymore.
Why is that?
The pay structure
Ju-
on
okay.
media, basically.
Yeah. Or just nobody. I mean, because there's
Kind
a
of.
lot. There's a whole culture of people that are going to a lot of shows. Maybe nobody would put themselves out there. I guess I don't understand.
I guess you're right. There could definitely be more
Yeah.
people who are like running a podcast or something who might be like, I'm going to review all the shows of Omaha or something. But yeah,
Right.
doesn't seem to be anybody doing that necessarily.
Let me ask you about that because there is, and you guys are in it. You guys are in that culture of the arts or people that are out, and going to various shows, putting on shows. And you're running a business in the show, Dylan. Like, we're promoting to ourselves, it seemed like, on social media anymore. Like, without, the Reader or something like that is going out to folks who maybe are just picking up a copy and you're getting a new audience. How do you find new audience and communicate them on a consistent basis? Because I see a lot of, like, people I'm friends with on Facebook or people that follow me, on mine. It's this, we're communicating to the same people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm promoting a show. Awesome. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to see the same thing next week. Like, how do we get that message out to people who haven't been out to our shows? Like, who hasn't or would like to, who's never even heard of us? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think anybody who knows me will tell you that one of my weaknesses is marketing and promotion.
Okay. So you're not the guy asking us.
I was gonna say about why is nobody doing that. I was gonna say I don't know who they would do it to.
Right.
I don't know how to get past my friends, and we're finally starting to get some consistent crowds at the wUw show, but it took a while, especially coming from the pandemic. There were a couple of them that we just did for a single family.
Sure.
Now, I mean, it was a different family each time, but just a mom, a dad, a son, and a daughter in a theater, and we're just going off.
And literally nothing wrong with that. Like,
Oh, they had a great. They came out raving about it.
Anybody who's ever complained, like, there was 5, 6, 7 people in the audience. Who cares? If I make a fan out of them, right? And
Exactly.
I get them to come back to another show, and they tell 10 people, and they tell 12 people, like, freaking fantastic. I guess it's different if I'm running the business because I need to be paid. It's different for you, Dylan.
Yeah.
But for me as the entertainer, all day long, if that's who I have to entertain, I'm going to freaking entertain you, and it's going to be awesome. But yeah, you need the people to.
I mean,
the butts in the seats.
I've had enough days where we've had 3 to 7 audience members, and I'm kind of tired of those days.
100%. Yeah.
They happen every once in a while, but like, yeah, I would say like if if it wasn't for like me being so bad at marketing and promotion, I feel like we'd probably have a full house every show.
So the shows and the people that you do have in charge of producing and booking, okay, what do you expect from them then to try to fill the house? Is that on them, or do you put that kind of on yourself and you're like, put on the best show you can, let's go, I got the rest of it? Like what's that kind of conversation?
So it can be a little tricky because we have so many shows every week to promote individual shows. So what we do is try to promote all of our shows, or like if there's like select shows that we really need to push, sometimes we'll push those separately. Otherwise, we mostly just try to push like, here it is in general, or like here's our stand-up, or here's improv, and try to get certain crowds. It's a little bit more tough for us to just put like 12 different ads every week kind of thing for all the different shows. But local showrunners that can run a show well and get a good crowd are perfect for us. If there's a show that like they're not necessarily good at promoting their own show, but they have a great show, I try to do my best to help get them some sort of crowd, and then hopefully that helps them get fans over the long run, and it builds. So there's kind of a little bit of a mix of things. You
ever get crossover? I mean, you have it's fair to say you have the largest open mic in town, right, on Wednesday nights. Do you ever get like from other clubs, maybe have somebody coming through town and does their show and then maybe pops in at an open mic or pop in at a show? Do you ever have anything crossover?
A little
like
bit.
That?
We had
Shane Torres.
Yeah, the night that Bert Kreischer went to the Orpheum, we had all his openers come and do a set during our open mic. They just popped in. Only it was like the worst week for us because a bunch of us had COVID turned out. Oh, no. So we packed this place and a bunch of people got COVID that week. And I guess it was us that gave it to them as they reported it on one of their podcasts or something.
I hadn't heard about that.
I heard they said something about Omaha gave us all COVID.
Sorry about that.
That was us for sure.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, you never know who you'll see then at the open mic as an audience member.
Yeah.
You have a full bar. You're at the Backline. You got the front patio. I was telling you when I walked in, I'm like, that is awesome. Last time I was here, that wasn't there. So
all that's in from the last year. It was a huge year for growth here at Backline, and Dylan is just kicking ass at it, man. I remember this building being. It was all white inside. That wall up there didn't go all the way to the ceiling. And now this is like the coolest fucking cuss. Am I allowed to cuss on this?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I actually prefer if you do. I'm not putting the episode up if you don't.
It's an incredible theater. People come in, they walk through the door, and they look around. They're like, this place is cool. And then you go into the actual theater part, and the stage is, I've never seen another stage like it as far as an improv stage goes. It's just set up really nice and has a fun style. And now we have a balcony upstairs, which is wild because like 10 years ago when we first got into this building, Dylan was like, I would like to put a balcony up there. And everybody's like, man, that doesn't even seem feasible. And I still don't know that it is, but there is a balcony up there.
Can you sell tickets up there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, it's cool. It's neat. Like, when you're doing comedy from the stage, being able to look up there at the corner and hearing those laughs come down, it's a great feeling. It's a great stage to be on, man. It's a small, tight room. It holds plenty of people. You should definitely come to it. But yeah, man, it really fills with laughter, and man, it makes everybody that comes through here feel good.
I also don't know how long we'll be here, but like if we're here long enough, I would like to get that balcony around all three sides.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yeah, it would be pretty wild, but also if you could just imagine just so many people like right in your face at 2 floors. Because I mean, there's for the people who might not know it at all, the room's only like 30 foot by 40 foot, or not even 30 feet. It's like 25 feet by 40 feet, and They say we can technically get 105 people in there, but like at 80, it's so crowded.
Yeah.
It's so crowded.
But that makes such a good show, man, because when you're there,
Very intimate. Yeah.
If 80 people are laughing in that room, man, the sides are shaking.
Was your comment about not knowing how long we're going to be here, was that, how deep was that? Is that, we just don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow?
Oh, I'm just saying, like, yeah.
The drones!
You never know.
The drones are coming.
I mean, do you know something I don't know?
Yeah. I still have 4 years. I just signed a 5-year lease for this place, so I'm here for at least 4 more years. But, like, you know, if I'm only here for 4 more years, I'm not going to bother. But if it's like, at the end of that, like, man, this is actually a really cool area of town still. Maybe we'll be here another 5 or 10. Maybe it's worth it at that point, you know.
Yep.
You know, who knows what the streetcar is going to be going right in front of us right here. So.
Oh, is it really? Is this the road?
This is the road, so it'll go right down here. Originally, it was supposed to stop on this corner, and they moved it another corner down. So.
Is that good or bad?
I would have loved for them to get out, and we're right here.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, they'll still see it right before getting off, basically.
Yep. All right. Well, the show Tuesday, December 31st, 10 p.m.
Yep.
New Year's Eve.
Yep, and the whole didn't get here as early as 9:30, but we'll be here all the way through midnight. After we do the countdown, we'll like hang out for a short amount of time. But then, if you want to still party, go to another bar nearby or something.
100%. Yeah, you can have a good time. Just don't stick around.
Yeah, we're not just gonna hang around till 2.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that.
So, like, we got the New Year's Eve show. What's the evolution of the show? Where do you see it in
So we did
3, 4, 5 months?
Oh, okay. It's a little shorter. I thought you meant thinking longer, but
in 20 years.
Yeah. We did a festival in Florida once. That was really cool. It'd be fun to take this show on the road a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we got a good setup, and we've got enough reps under our belt with it now. You know, you can do a little tour around here, hit up a Kansas City, a Des Moines.
You think in 2025 that'll be a real thing?
To do more road
To do
shows?
the tour, yeah.
We could possibly work out a tour. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm always down for a tour.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Dylan is a traveling man. He went to Nepal last year.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, for improv, right? Yeah. I remember following your story on that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love traveling. It's the reason why I am okay being in Omaha. Like, I shouldn't say okay. I love being in Omaha, but like, if I didn't travel, I would. What's it called when you like have to
Like stir crazy kind of, like you'd have to be out.
Yeah, I suppose.
Itchy feet.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I have to at least take like 2 trips a year somewhere.
Anywhere in particular that like types of places you like to go to?
My second trip this year was down in New Orleans. My mom and
Okay.
sister live down there, so it's kind of easy for me to go down there. And I made like a little tour out of it, going to Austin and Oklahoma City as well and stuff, and Kansas City. So
your big thing is just get out. I'm not at home. I'm out of a suitcase. Like, let's go.
I mean, I think I've just moved around so much in my life that it's sitting in one spot for a long time. Yeah, it just makes me like, oh my god, I've been doing this every day. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I need some change every once in a while, and then that makes it feasible to like stay in one place for years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, what else you want to plug? We'll
I'll
wrap it up.
also say this about the show as far as
Yeah.
like with us doing it. One thing that I've really liked about this show is it works so good for special events like parties and stuff. So we've done April Fool's shows.
Oh yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We
Halloween
hosted
prank
Halloween. Yeah. So just like it's one of the things that makes like the New Year's really fun. It's not just a comedy show, but it's like a special event.
And we call it the wUw Show experience because we are not good at marketing, so we don't know what else to call it.
It sounds like it would be perfect too if a business wanted to bring their office or their team for like team building to be entertained, but also do something for camaraderie or whatever. It sounds like it would be a good.
It might be,
opportunity
yeah,
for that.
especially if they want to get a little rowdy.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't even talked to you yet, but I just talked to someone yesterday who wants to bring in about 30 or 40 friends someday and have some drinks and just do something on stage. And she even mentioned, like, do you think the wUw show would be good for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that'd be fun.
The thing about the show is it's so scalable because it's what the group that is at the show wants
to do.
You know,
Yeah.
we've done it for 4 people. We've done it for probably 400 at that Tampa festival.
Yeah.
And you know, Dylan is so good at like figuring out the way to make a game work. Like when we're taking, so we do like some make up a sentence one word at a time. So I would say I
am
a
guy. So just something like that. Except I was trying to finish it. Out there, they're trying to make it funny,
Right. Yeah.
So when it's 400 people, we gotta just the ones that are standing up, and we'll,
So Dylan's the guy that hosts game night then.
Yeah,
I do love
Yeah.
game night.
Yeah.
I used to host game night here at Backline, but we haven't done that in a while.
I always say like Dylan's great at explaining and analyzing the thing that we're doing. I'm the one who's like, let's just do the thing.
Let's go.
And so our energy works perfect like that.
Yeah.
Usually by the time he's ready, he's explained it, everybody's ready for me to just go, woo! And we'll bust right into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's such a fun show.
As far as other things to plug, definitely if you're interested, whether it's watching shows or doing comedy yourself, check us out. We have shows and classes in anything from stand-up, improv, sketch writing, music, all that, even hip-hop now. Also, I have an animated series I don't plug enough, so check out Troglobites, the animated series.
I didn't even know you had that. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We have like Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall in there
Yeah.
and stuff, so he plays Dracula in one of the episodes.
And you do all the animation?
I did all the animation, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn a new program now so I can do it faster with like the use of all the AI technology now. So like you can kind of draw the character and then do a lot of the work from there a lot easier nowadays. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Wow. I'm ultra talented.
It's called ADHD. I just I can't pick one thing. Oh, I want to do this. 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 And then I do a little bit of everything.
So the chalkboard behind us is your brain. Like, so
Yeah.
that's everything that's going on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, as in it was meant to be cleaned out a week ago and still is not.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, we got to do that before the show tonight.
Well, Tuesday, December 31st, 10 p.m., be at the Backline, but also check out Backline online because of all kinds of shows. It's very fantastic. Thank you for coming
Thanks
on
for
the show,
having us.
guys. Yeah, Dylan, Todd, that was awesome.
Well, there you go. Season 3 is officially launched right here on wherever you're listening. I mean, I kind of treat it a little bit like a radio show, right here on blah, 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 blah. It's right here on Spotify or right here on Apple Podcasts or right here on the YouTubes. Check out the wUw Year Eve on New Year's Eve, 12/31, 9:30 p.m. to midnight at the Backline. And you can find more information at backlinecomedy.com. Thank you again to Dylan and Todd for joining the show. That was so much fun. I think I find myself I make notes, right? And Johnny makes notes. And then I go through and put together what I think is going to be, interesting as far as like what the audience would want, right? And then I get in the midst of conversation and then I'm like, this is not going the way I thought it was going, but in a positive way. Like, I have so many other things now that I want to talk about. And then just, the conversation just kind of dips and dies. But that's podcasting, right? That's podcasting, baby. That's how we do it. Coming soon. I can't stress enough how excited I am for this. Steve Wave from 8th Wave. It's going to be a laugh with me. You bookmark that, okay? Like, subscribe. It's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that conversation. Thanks for listening, y'all.